Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm sure you can probably hear the cooling fan running on this 1200 watt server power supply. That's because I have it maxed out at the 80% rule. I'm pulling about 980 watts from this unit. So out of 1200 watts, that makes it about the 80% point, and you really shouldn't run these 24/7 over that. It's sort of like a rule of thumb. It could probably easily put out 1100 watts, but it's going to be screaming even louder than this, and you're probably going to start shortening the life of it at that point. So since I currently have 7 GPUs and I want to put in an 8th one in the future, I need to expand and get another power supply. Now this is the 1200 watt HP power supply that runs on either 120 or 240, coupled with the parallel miner ZSX all-in-one breakout board. We're still going to use that breakout board, but we're going to switch over now to the 2400 watt variant. Now mind you, this is not a regular C13 plug like this is and regular ATX power supplies. This is a C19 or C20. See how the plug is completely different? This power supply is only rated for 240 volts. So before you jump on over to parallel miner and go ahead and buy one of these things, make sure that you're set up for 240 volts. If you need 2400 watts and you only have 120 volts available, then you need to double up on your power supplies and get 2 separate circuits of 120 and do it that way. But this way will work much better, and it should run a lot quieter because, as you can see here, it's one single fan and it's only this thick, cooling 1200 watt power supply. The 2400 watt, these are the double length fans, and there's 3 of them. So I don't know if you call that a double barrel fan or what, but either which way, this has a lot more cooling capacity for only double the wattage. So this should run a lot quieter. So let me go ahead and shut down the rig here. We're going to pull this out, and I'm just going to throw this into the side. Okay, so let me cut this one tie strap that's holding this one in place. Ta-da! Now this should be as simple as just unplugging the back of the power supply from the ZSX board. There we go. Now getting this other one in here is going to be kind of crazy. I was thinking of moving the motherboard over a little ways, but I have something else coming in from Romania in probably about a week or 2. So right now I'm just going to have this hanging off to the side, plugged into the ZSX board so it'll run, and then when that other product comes in, I can take the whole thing apart and we'll put it down correctly. So for right now, let's lift up my nest of wires. Oh, also on these power supplies, here's the plug, here's the 3 fans. If you turn it up, there's 2 of the same connectors. You can plug a ZSX into either side, but you have to plug it into this one first. This is the primary side. This is what will actually trigger it on and off. This side is basically just a slave. It just supplies the 12 volt power. That's all. So right now, we're just going to use this side, and this side I'm actually going to put electrical tape over this connector just to protect it. There we go. That will protect it from shorting out. So let's go ahead and try to slot this in here. Turn this a little more sideways so I can see what I'm doing here. Now I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Now it's plugged in. Let's get the 1200 watt power supply out of the way. Let's bring this on over here. And let's bring the camera on over here. Now here's our plug-in. I got a special cable, which I believe is a C13 or C14 to a C19 or C20. I'll leave a link for it down in the description below. And the reason why we want this one goes into the power supply, like so. Okay. And the other side, once I get to it, goes over here to my PDU. So we're gonna go ahead and plug that right in, right here. And the power supply just spun up for a second there, and then went back to sleep because I haven't turned on the ZSX port. So let's turn it on now. You see we have a little green light on the power supply, and everything's turning on. And it is really quiet right now. But of course, we're not pulling that much wattage. We're still booting up. Yeah, there we go. It's still booting up right now. So let's let it boot up. Let it get the 980 watts load on this for a while. And I'll come back in about a half an hour and we'll see how much heat this thing is generating and what the fans actually ramp up to. Okay, so it has been about 30 minutes now. So let's take a look and see what it's like. It is much more quiet. I can still feel about the same amount of heat coming out of it, but these fans are running so much slower. And the case actually feels a little cooler compared to the 1200 watt. Yeah, much better. Here, let me bring the microphone right up to it. It is much quieter. I can actually hear myself inside here now. My mining rig is actually quiet. So that's the two benefits I get switching from a 1200 watt server power supply to a 2400 watt power supply. Number one, I got plenty of wattage available now that I can add an 8th card or eventually replace these older 570s that I got in the 580s with higher wattage cards like a 3070, a 3080. I'm never going to get a 3090, forget it. That's just not worth it with the price to hash rating power. Nah. But I got plenty of wattage available, and the other thing is, since I'm still pulling the same amount of wattage and this has a lot more capacity, the fans are nice and quiet. So I don't have this big noisy mining rig anymore. It's just a nice little background fan noise now. So if you made it all the way through the video, thank you very much. Thumbs up, please. Share this video around the mining community. I will have affiliate links down below for the parallel miner power supplies and the ZSX boards, and I'll also put a link to the power cord that I use that works good with regular PDUs. Thanks again, and I will see you when the next product comes in. Waiting for it.